welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. As we've done the past couple weeks in a row, we haven't really been missing a Monday morning news, and we have another
start
one
now,
right? We got another one this week. This week, there's actually, a whole bunch to talk about. Last week was a little slow.
It was a light week, but it was still newsworthy.
Yeah, this week we have a lot to discuss, especially on the trailers aspect, you could say.
Oh, yeah, because there was some...
Yeah, the UploadVR just had their showcase.
There was some neat release dates and games coming soon.
Some unfortunate delays as well.
A lot more coming soons than coming tomorrow.
Yeah, which is
for sure.
Which is, I've noticed usually the VR marketing style is like, boom, we'll drop a trailer and the release date 2 weeks from now. That didn't really hold true with the UploadVR showcase. It was more coming in 2023 was the
big overall theme.
Yeah, but there were some good titles. So, we got a lot to talk about there. Then there's also some new headset news and some delays in that regard as well. So plenty to talk about this week. I guess we can start with what I would call a comical one because we kind of joke about it a lot on the podcast. Apple's VR headset that, one day is going to come out. It's definitely in the works. I just never believe any report that it's going to come out, tomorrow or anything like that. And there were some reports a couple months ago that it was going to come out early 2023.
Yes.
That with a couple million units made or something like that. And now the word is that it's delayed until later into 2023 with much less units being made.
That should raise some eyebrows.
I won't be surprised if, come March.
Well, calling it the Melt Burger 2.0 is probably not a smart move. So
I think, and they also changed the name of their rumored operating system for it. So I won't be surprised if coming March, April of 2023, the word starts to be, Q1 2024.
Yeah, I was thinking more probably 2024.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man. You've bled the hype train. The excitement,
I've been hearing about
my initial excitement way back when was, wow, this is going to be one badass headset. It's going to blow everybody's freaking mind. And now I'm at the point of wow, you can't make anything now in this time frame. It just keeps getting, it's really, there's no more hype to me about it.
I've been hearing that it's coming soon since before we started the podcast.
It was coming soon before it was coming soon.
Yeah, so that's why I always laugh about it. I'm sure when it does release, like I said,
it's going to be bomb.
But when's it going to release?
But is it going to be current bomb, or is it going to be last year's?
I wonder if that's been a part of an issue that they want to be cutting edge, and then the technology keeps moving. Yeah. They're like, well, shit, now we got to make it even better.
I wonder that with anybody making headsets now is there is a push to make them better and all around a better user experience. So how do you leapfrog to catch up?
I hope when this thing does eventually come out, we get some insight on
especially if they catch wind to what's really going down with other companies. I
would love to have seen all the different prototypes that they've internally made that have either, for whatever reason, needed to get upgraded more or whatever. It's there's probably been so many iterations at this point.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there.
Yeah.
But it does seem like an endless amount of push to not.
Yeah, my gut says Q1 2024, just based off of delays.
I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, I know the word is that in the report later in the year of 2023. I just, I'm
about when we'll see Grand Theft Auto for VR, right?
Right at this point, if that's not
feeling.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might see Grand Theft Auto as hopefully a launch title of Quest 3. That would be sick. But at this point, there's just nothing but silence on that regard.
I'd like to see it brought up at their next little conference, or we'll see.
Every little showcase that Meta does, I'm always like, hopefully.
Yeah, I was admittingly kind of weird that there was no mention of it.
I don't think it can work on the Quest 2 at this point.
We had speculated that they're just holding out for the next one.
Yeah, for the Quest 3. At this point, if there's been no news, 4. Not even a trailer, even when they announced it, there was no gameplay or anything. They just said that it was in the works. Mm-hmm. We don't have anything yet. I'm thinking it's a Quest 3. But that's just purely my speculation.
No, I will not argue that.
But a little bit more on the headset side too. There's a rumor, another report. Just like this last thing, just to report. This isn't official news from Apple before. Same with this with Samsung, but the word is that Samsung is working on a headset next year for developers. It's like a dev kit, but that they're getting back into the headset making business. So that's cool. Another player in the field, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of
Samsung's legit.
good product name.
Mm-hmm. A lot that Samsung does, and I mean, hey, they make everything from cell phones to dishwashers to, I think they make like missiles.
Dude, they
too.
make now they make everything.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they didn't.
So I'm a little surprised that they're not a big player in the game yet, but I have a feeling, you know, they're doing it smart. They're making a dev kit,
Mhm.
you know, get some developers on board before releasing a full consumer product. But it's like, man, if we have Meta, Pico, Apple, you know, Valve making one, and Samsung all making standalone headsets, it's like, oof.
If they're all become cross-platform gaming with each other, then that's probably my biggest fear is like there's going to be great games, but I expect we're going to see exclusives that are only going to be on, you know, like Population 1, even though I could eventually see.
Well, that one's on Steam as well.
Yeah.
It's just not on PlayStation.
So it's like if you don't have the ability for everybody with a headset to play the game, then it's going to kind of hold back the overall thing. But I love more headsets on the market.
Yeah, hopefully, even if it's not a whole shared ecosystem, hopefully at least there's a lot of different crossplay going on.
That's the fear.
But that's where the PC VR market or crowd does win a little bit with Steam, because Steam, any headset you can put on you can use with your computer, boom, just use it with Steam. You know, your library is shared headset to headset.
We've talked about maybe dabbling into PC VR.
Yeah, that's a 2023 goal. Hopefully, you know, Patreon keeps going good, ads keep going good, and the podcast keeps growing, and that's definitely something to check off the box, because
that'd be a game changer for me, because there's so much.
No pun intended.
There's so much on Steam.
And it's shared ecosystem is always good. So it's like, if you're a PC VR user, any headset you put on your computer, boom, you still have your library. That's nice.
And we see it in the Discord too, that, you know, there's some games that just aren't.
One of our favorites, Mother Gunship Forge, love it. Like I said, one of our absolute favorites, but is not crossplay. So we can't play with Steam VR users with that.
Very sad.
Yeah. So crossplay.
But that day should come.
Yeah, I think crossplay is going to be essential for all multiplayer games, because as all these different headsets are coming out, it's like, you know, Pico's audience is growing.
Wasn't Tetris anything and everything?
I think you could even play with Tetris connected. I think that you could play VR with flat screen on the consoles.
Yep.
And Demio has
because it would tell you over the heads of what people are playing on.
Demio has a PC version as well, so if you're in VR, you can play with flat screen players, and same with Cards and Tankards as well. So I love that direction too.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's
the more the merrier. That's all I'm saying. It's like if there's 10 different headsets, but I can't play. Like, let's say I got a different headset. You know, I don't think I would, but you know, if all of a sudden now I can't play any of the multiplayer games we like with each other, then that's going to suck. So they need to figure out some sort of mutual agreement amongst all the masses to pull that off for the consumer.
Yeah, I think from a developer standpoint, if you have a game that's based off of multiplayer, crossplay is a must-have box
for the future of the industry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, but you'll find out if it's not going to be developers' faults. It's going to be the faults of the companies who own these headsets to say you can't. So we'll see.
Right now there's no limitations on being allowed to. A bunch of games are cross-platform, but not all games are. Like I said, Mother Gunship is a multiplayer game that isn't cross-play.
I hope.
You got to. It helps keep a healthy audience for your game too. The more players actively
less
looking.
Limited. Yeah. If you got people you'd like to play the game with and they own it, but you know, sorry, I can't, then I don't care what the game. That kind of sucks.
And speaking of multiplayer, you know, like I said, a bunch of games were teased at the UploadVR showcase. You know, one of those was Gambit, which was supposed to come out last week, but then the day before it was supposed to release, or maybe the day of, they delayed it.
That was
until
dirty.
Early 2023. It was the only part that's dirty. It's like you couldn't have at least like a week before. Like clearly you knew.
Well, and there's also people who were waiting.
Yeah, excited.
Like, watching that countdown in their head. Like, I got 5 more days and I'm going to buy it. I get, you know.
And they said on their Discord, like
24 hours before you're ready to hit buy.
That's not right.
You can't.
And I think that it was announced at the UploadVR showcase before they announced it to like their community or anything like that, which, you follow them on their Discord and stuff, you hope to find out about something like that before it's announced on websites and stuff.
Nah, we're not going to bother with that. Nah, don't worry about it.
So it got delayed until early 2023. And Gambit is a 4-person co-op game that what I would call is going to be After the Fall's biggest rival, because it's that same shooter style.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm so
to play it.
That's part of the reason why the delay sucks. It's like, oh, it looks so good.
But how they did the announcement of it, I would argue till I'm blue in the face was a little like you could have done it.
Yeah, the second when you had a feeling you should have done it, not saying, hey, we just didn't want, we wanted to wait till the last moment.
But I'm not hurt that somebody would delay a game to make it, run better or be better in the long run. Mm-hmm. Just, a little respect to the consumer who's been like, all right,
Well, they said they wanted to wait, like I keep saying, until they knew that for sure that they had to. And
they
just
figured out the day before that it was broken.
You knew. If you're delaying it until early 2023,
you know how the beta test shit goes.
Yeah, you guys knew.
Yes,
that's the only unfortunate. But like they released a new trailer with it.
You still gonna get it?
100%.
Yeah, so it didn't hurt shit.
No, that's a good point. Because like here's the thing: at least they get all right. We're not releasing the game, but before they had like limited gameplay shown in their trailers, they showed a lot of gameplay in their newest trailer, and they did a great job making it humorous.
Yeah.
You were audibly laughing during it at some parts.
Oh yeah.
They don't shy away from the fact that it's a mature game, like mature themes, mature humor.
Within 30 seconds, I think they said shit twice. So I'm like, okay.
Character drawing spray painted boobies on the wall,
Yeah. So it's perfect because if like you're a parent and you're like, oh, I want to buy my kid a game, and my kid wants this game, and it's like, oh, I'll just watch the video. Literally within 30 seconds, or even if you scan forward, you're still going to hear shit that's going to make you go, oh, well, if this is the way they talk in this, I don't want my kid.
Yeah.
And look, they just drew tits on the wall with spray paint.
But for adults, it's like, it's great to have a game catered to a mature audience as well.
Yeah, they do a great job of making it known that this is not for your 8-year-old squeaker to go, it's not Among Us.
So I'm curious how it works. It seems like a little after the folly with the way upgrades work. I saw people buying stuff at what looked like a vending machine type deal, which reminded me a little bit of buying stuff in After the Fall.
Looks like a more colorful
After the Fall.
Fall. That's what I pretty much said when we were watching it. I'm like, it kind of looks like After the Fall, but with like a lot of bright colors.
And I'm not sure if it's going to be like, I saw them showing some scores on the wall. I'm not sure if it's going to be like short runs, just like After the Fall that you repeat, and that's the real replay of it, or if it's going to be like a long campaign. I don't know how this is going to work.
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
It looks fun. If for nothing else, I would get it just because they made me laugh so much during the preview for it. Because I'm like, it's very rare when you see a game preview like that. Mm-hmm. It's like, holy crap.
Well, I like,
that was funny.
There's a couple games we'll talk about where it's the opposite, and it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. It's one thing if you do a game announcement and you don't show gameplay footage or anything, that's understandable. You're just announcing that you're working on the game or that it's going to come out. That makes sense. But when you start dropping multiple trailers through time and they were all cinematic, it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. I like to know.
Unless I'm supposed to be watching a movie, not playing a game, I'd like to see a smidgen. 5 seconds.
If I wanted a cinematic, if I wanted something like badass like that, I would watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know what does your game look like. So it's like Behemoth. So they just dropped a new trailer as well, it's a game made by the developers of Saints and Sinners, Walking Dead. And this is their second trailer. Again, the first was an announcement. I'll give them a pass there. I don't know what you do in this game. I know nothing about it from the trailer.
And it sucks.
Maybe you climb and fight things with the sword.
You might have a repelling hook type situation.
I don't know. I'd be surprised if there's climbing in the game. I even said that right away. I was like, I bet you don't even climb.
Maybe. It's hard to say. I looked at the whole cinematic thing as like, okay, they're just giving you some background, but it doesn't mean you're going to do any of that. I mean, it was a guy walking in the cave with a torch.
When you had, before it started, said, well, it might be a lot of lore. I was like, oh, you know what? That's actually fair, but I didn't really catch much lore from it.
No, I got a little bit of like
some story,
what was going on.
But not much.
Yeah. So, but I have no idea what the gameplay is going to be.
Yeah. Hopefully in the future we get, some sort of alpha.
But I am
footage or
with you
something.
that I wish that you know what's worse than the cinematic?
What?
Ugh, this one's my biggest pet peeve. When they don't show you really any in-game footage, but they do like the whole AR experience thing going on with living human beings with the headset on looking at you,
Yeah.
just moving all around.
People playing it with a headset on, but there's no actual game being shown.
Dude,
Ghostbusters almost did that. That's another
drives
game.
me freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so bad.
Well, Ghostbusters dropped a new trailer, but this one actually featured gameplay. And when
Correct.
it first started, I was worried because it was doing that stuff.
Starts with, yeah.
You know, it had people load in, it had them put on their headset, which I understand, especially if you're going to show the commercial on television.
Well, you're getting
stuff.
suited up to fight Ghost.
You're letting them know it's VR, you know, but whatever. So I was worried that I was like, this is going to be one of these trailers. But they showed a you know, some gameplay.
Some actual gameplay.
And it said, you know, I think it was shot in-game as well. I'm wondering if it was Quest 2 footage, because if it's Quest 2 footage, it was really good graphics.
Wasn't that bad.
So, you know, it was cool to see a little bit of how the game's going to work. They teased fighting some giant, you know, bosses. I can't wait to see how that actually works.
I don't know if it's going to be bosses or just boss.
Yeah, or just one guy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an end game. I don't know if they're going to tell a story.
But it's co-op, so I was excited to see it. You know, it's in the works. It's coming early 2023. That was one when it was first announced. I was really hoping it was going to drop
this year.
Yeah, but that's just selfishly because I want to play some co-op. You know,
Of course.
I think that
and this one looks fun.
what I love about this, you know, there's a couple other games we'll talk about, and a lot of these games that are in the works are co-op. You know, you go on the official Oculus Quest store and you filter your search by co-op games. It's not as many as you would hope for an official store, you know?
No, but a lot better than it was when we started playing. So
No arguments there.
Yep.
But you look at, you know, most of these games we're talking about today, they have co-op in them, and it's cool to think, you know, in a year you go in that store and you search by co-op and it's going to be loaded with these badass titles.
They'll get to the point where you'll be searching for
non-co-op.
I just want a single player campaign, no multiplayer.
Yeah. Stop basing games around co-op because, you know, even, you know, another game that was teased that's currently in beta, you can go apply to be in their beta. They tease it right in the trailer. But Drop Dead the Cabin, which Drop Dead was one of the first games we ever played in VR.
For co-op, yeah.
Yeah. It might have been the first co-op one that we both bought. We had played some other single player games because, you know, we both got in our headset.
Correct.
But
I remember we bought
a bunch of games.
A bunch of games. That's really hard to say.
We went through a phase where, you know, first couple games, like I said, were single player. And then we, you know, if it was co-op and it was out at the time we bought the headset, we were probably buying it. Like we went crazy. And yeah, Drop Dead, the first one had really good co-op mode where you're just stationary. It's just a wave shooter. You know, it gets progressively harder each wave. Zombies come at you. You can, you know, shoot different guns out of the air to temporarily use them. It was fun though. It was surprisingly replayable. But then they had a whole single player main story as well, which, you know, it's a little dated at this point in 2022 VR because you
still a good game though.
Oh my god, it was a great story, and I remember you stood still.
Yeah.
But the game kind of just moved
moves,
you. Yeah, that's why I call it old school. It's a little dated.
Yeah, it's all right though.
But it was still a great game. Like still one of my favorites, especially for co-op.
It's got that nostalgic feeling for me, you know?
So I loved it, and now they're coming out with a sequel to it, Drop Dead the Cabin, which is all based on co-op.
Doesn't look very scary, so that's, you don't have to worry about the scare factor. I don't think as much as...
No, it has kind of more like upbeat graphics for what's going on. You know, you're in a cabin with your teammates, and there's zombies coming at you, and it says that you have to perform tasks and do different objectives, and every time you do a run in it, it's different objectives.
Never the same twice.
Yeah, that's what they say. Never the same twice.
Yeah.
So I'm real curious. It sounds like a play will probably not be that long, maybe like an hour or two, if I had to guess. And then but like the replayability is that, you know,
it's never the same twice.
And something that I have,
which is good because then you can never really predict where zombies and shit are going to be or what your particular task is going to be. Or
and you know, I really hope that the actual implementation of that is as good as they're hyping, and it's not like, all right, there's 3 different objectives that it might be. You know, you play it 10 times and you kind of got an idea of all the different possibilities, and it, you know, sometimes games hype up that, like, you know, things aren't ever going to be the same. And it's very minorly different to the point where it's like it is the same. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's as good as they're hyping, but I have to give them huge props that based off the trailer, it looked like that your characters are your meta avatar.
That's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like to me.
There'd be no reason to show that in the trailer if it wasn't true. It just doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, they'd show you some jacked up, zombie killing dude.
So as soon as I saw that, I looked at you and paused the trailer and I went,
Yeah.
dude, I am so much more hyped. I say it all the time. I love when games integrate the meta avatars, especially a serious game like this where you're locked in a cabin with zombies coming at you and you're shooting them, doing objectives, and you're a meta avatar. Come on.
No,
That's hilarious.
I find very few games where it wouldn't be fitting.
I've even said Mother Gunship Forge. Give me that.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious seeing my guy build all those items on his wrist. I love the meta avatars. I know I'm in the minority. Maybe I'm not.
I don't think so. Avatar business is good.
I'm in the vocal minority at least. There's seems like verbally most people like posting on social media and stuff like to shit on the meta avatars. I think that they're
but
hilarious.
the first ones to buy the unicorn big titties with an 8-foot tail.
Oh, for like VR.
First
chat
time
and
they
stuff.
go into VR chat, then they're shelling out some money for someone that.
I don't know. There's something about the comic relief that the meta avatars bring to games too. It's just funny. It's absolutely hilarious.
Wait, because you get to really create that character.
Mhm.
So, I mean, to me, it's just like if every game had to create a character, because you can essentially create your avatar to look however you want. So,
And I don't know. It was just funny. So that was an awesome thing to
for
see.
some games, I could see even altering your the clothes your avatar's wearing and maybe your hairstyle, and you could have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. So like I said, I paused the trailer and I looked at you and I was like, dude. So this is definitely going to be a must play. That's another one coming in 2023. So props that there was a lot of good stuff shown. One of our favorites too just dropped an update the past week and has another big update coming in mid-December. Population 1, they added the RPG to
which you can tell
the
as soon as you go to the map because you're going to hear it for the whole duration of the map.
Definitely the players in the game are enjoying using it based off of how it sounds. But they added the RPG. That's out now. And then
no star to it.
No star. You get 3 shots with it. It does a blast radius.
It's a front load, so and they show you they'll highlight the front of the thing.
Super easy to reload. I thought that they were going to make it a complicated thing. No, it's literally just push the thing in the front. Yep. You only get 3 shots with it. It does like 60 damage, it seems, just about. I've done anywhere from like 52, 53 to upwards of 60.
Yeah, I hit somebody in the 50s for sure.
And then it does a blast radius. You can get people through the wall with it. So it does a whole area of damage. So it's nice. Even last night, I died. I won't lie. But, I didn't think to shoot them through the wall. I should have done that. You had mentioned that after.
As they were coming in, you could have fired one off.
But I was waiting in the corner of a room for them to come in. So I saw one walk in. And bam! I blasted him, and I saw it did, 50-something in damage. So I quickly loaded in another shot, and then 2 people ran in, and I shot them both, and it hit them both. And then I died. But I was like, you can see the effectiveness of it.
It has potential.
And then, like you commented to me, it doesn't drop off at any point. Like, if you shoot it from a distance, it's not going to, go straight and then down. It's going to keep going wherever you shoot it. So
no drop rate to it.
Yeah, you had a good tip that you're like, if you want to hit somebody from a distance with it, you don't shoot it at them.
No, shoot it way in front of them. To where and it's really, you got to have some guesswork. But if you think you know where the person's running to, then shoot it way in front of them.
I've yet to get a kill with it, but I've done some serious damage.
Yeah, it'll soften them up.
So you only get 3 shots, like you said, no star rating.
Well, dude, what if you have a squad of 3 cooperating people and you all have...
Oh, stop it.
And just make it rain on, they're in the house. Okay, you take the upstairs, I'll take the downstairs. That's 9 shots. No matter where you are, you're just going to wreak havoc.
And it's so quick to reload, too. Like it.
And I want to see people start using it, jumping off of tall things.
Off the tower and stuff.
Because I know, unfortunately, the grenade and stuff, if you throw it from the top, it doesn't...
Well, it'll explode before it hits the ground.
Yeah. You're not really... You got to come in kind of low to...
This one, you can helicopter down to shoot somebody midair. No, people...
I'm curious.
Even when we were playing the other night, it's like, every game we played, as soon as it got small, barrier left, like you were saying, all you heard was rocket launcher, rocket launcher, rocket launcher.
Makes a distinct sound.
So people were going ham with the RPG. I like it. I think it's a great addition to the game. I
Mhm.
love that it's no star. It's just 3 shots. It's like a quick thing. You pick it up, you use it. It's out of your inventory.
It's a softener.
Yeah, it's a nice addition. But then, like I said, they're also adding their sandbox mode
Mm-hmm.
December 14th, which, I'm curious how this is actually going to
I'm wicked excited.
be. They're saying like, new game, they were saying in their beta, they were posting on social media that people in their beta, created all these new different game modes and cool maps. And I'm like, game modes? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like, team deathmatch and a cool map? Or are you saying like actual, like
I'm
somebody
thinking-
made capture the flag or something,
I'm thinking more like, a combination of change the gravity and that
Mhm.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Versus, I'm more excited for the map creation,
Mm-hmm.
but my big issue is going to be how big of a map area are you giving them
Mhm.
to create? Is it going to be full scale Pop 1 size?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's pretty huge. And
Yeah.
if they give you that much play area to work, or are they going to give you like, cemetery type size?
Yeah, how's the building actually going to be like work? Is there like a limit of amount of items
Yeah.
or squares that you can build on? Like how
So
does it work?
It'll be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The more the merrier, in my opinion.
What'll-
And really good maps are going to start coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to drop. So it drops December 14th. And I think as soon as that comes out, it's going to be like Pandora's box. Like instantly people are going to be going nuts with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. And they even did some stuff like now when you load in on Pop 1, it has you select your region right from the start. I noticed that was a new
upgrade.
Yeah, I noticed that was a new update.
Yeah. They obviously revamped something in it.
Mm-hmm. They changed
Changed
a
the
little bit.
language.
Yeah. Now you can add people. Like example, if you're squatted up with randoms, you used to either add them in the lobby
Yeah, or
Before-
after the game.
or after the game. Now you can add them directly from
Yeah.
the map. So, small little quality of life improvements, but big box is always improving. As somebody who's gone on record, though, about how badass and awesome and how much I love the skins, I haven't been able to justify the last ones, I'll be honest with you. Not because they aren't good.
Not because they're not good.
Not because they're not
Because
good.
of what they're trying to charge you for them.
They're getting a little greedy with
A little?
It used to be that they would include skins
Dude.
in a bundle, but then you could also usually buy the skin separately. On small times you couldn't, but usually you could.
Well, no. The small times you couldn't was them testing that waters
Yeah,
of how do sales change if we
don't bundle them.
we make them buy the bundle versus individual.
But then they've also increased the cost of the bundles quite a bit.
Yeah,
At this point, the last one,
substantially.
2,100 of their in-game currency,
Yeah,
which
probably like $20.
that's a lot of money for skins for a
Right.
$30 game. And like, yeah, the Viking, the new guy, he's cool. The Astronaut's cool.
Yeah,
But-
$20. Cool.
Come on, and
Yeah.
I love to support the skins.
I have so many skins, and I've paid for all of them.
Mm-hmm. At this
Um,
point,
But once I saw them start going up and doing the fluctuating price thing,
yeah, now they're
I'm like, you know
expensive.
what?
At this point, they're expensive. I can't justify it.
I'm like, I will no longer endorse
And we're on record.
the awesomeness of those skins. I mean,
So
if I
many
can earn
times-
one, I'll earn it. Now I'm not, necessarily going to support that method of.
Yeah, and we were the guys who were always like,
No
skin
reason,
comes
dude.
out, we're buying it. That's what
Oh,
we
yeah, or
always said.
we'd be readying up.
Yep.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Yeah,
And you see the
yeah.
skin change on the screen, like, oh, you
It's-
bastard.
I can't justify that.
No, it
And
kind of
it's sad.
I don't want to ever think that they're.
It's a little
I
greedy
just
priced.
don't. Again, I don't understand the
UFC pay-per-views
justification.
out here,
Pretty
constantly-
much,
constantly raising prime. Like, yeah, it's not worth it no more.
dude. A skin a month at a
Mhm.
minimum,
Mm-hmm.
the $20.
I could even settle when they were
Get the
like,
hell out of here.
not in a bundle, and each skin was like 700 each.
Mhm.
Okay, I can deal with it.
$5.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's gotten a little. I've been watching it go. What is it? Skin inflation.
Mm-hmm. We were
Doesn't make
laughing
any
about it
sense.
last time we hopped on when I was like, dude, I want the skin, but I can't.
There's been a handful I've not gotten because of that.
And we were
That
always,
bums me out because I really wanted like every single one. I'm like, oh, I want them all.
that's how we were doing it forever.
Yeah.
It's like, skin comes out, boom.
You think
get
you're
it.
gonna give me a little and get me hooked for cheap and then
Yeah.
raise the price on me?
I know what they're doing.
Get the fuck out of here. That's not how it works, buddy.
No. So unfortunate to see, but
Still love the game. But
yeah, still playing it.
You've officially lost my skin business.
You would have made more money keeping
You
it
would have
cheaper.
made more money from me by just taking a little every month than trying to gouge me every month. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. I just question why they would ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, how much is a Mighty Coconut Walkabout Mini Golf?
$3.
$3 freaking for 18 holes of
of 36 holes because you have easy.
What I was
and
just gonna
hard.
say, 18 holes of easy, not easy, but
Yeah,
we'll
regular
say
mode.
regular mode, and then 18 holes of a hard mode.
36 holes
with freaking balls to find on 18 holes, and other stuff to find on
Fox
the
hunts,
other 18
clubs.
holes, and for less than $5, a freaking large cup of coffee. But Pop One wants friggin'
$20.
$20
currency
I don't
for
care
skins.
if anything over freaking $10 is like for artwork.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Digital, like in game.
get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's disappointing. It gets
Yeah.
me a little torqued because
Because they had us.
you had me hook, line, and sinker until you.
We were
saw through
hooked.
the scam.
We were sold, baby. Every skin that came out, we were on.
But I'll still play
not
Pop
anymore.
One. Love you to death.
Yep.
But fuck you and your skins.
now I'm a base game only customer.
Yep. You lost that. I mean, but I no, truthfully, if you look at between the two of us, how much we've probably really spent overall
Yeah, they could have kept earning money.
to nothing. It's like how many of those people exist that go, yeah, I'm done.
I don't think we were.
Then
the
what do
only
you
ones.
do? All of a sudden you start selling the skins for $5 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh.
not for nothing. They should put a numerical value, not that make believe gold crap, because that's like also
Fake.
since I'm dogging them for the skins anyways. Yeah, it's bullshit.
But I can't dog them specific. I will say I don't like it, but every
You don't
game
need
does
that.
Every game does their fucking.
I don't have to spend $2.99 Waka token
That's a good point.
or coconut
Waka
juice. You know,
Yeah.
oh, you need 12 coconut juices.
You
They're
need some
50
coconut
cents
milk.
a juice. No, it's $2.99. I click buy.
That's a
it,
good point.
You know,
Yeah, I wish-
don't try to trick me.
I'm sick of them, raising the cost of it with their in-game currency. I agree. It makes it like we're not raising the U.S. dollar on it. We're raising the pop coins. Whatever they call it again. They're
Pop coins, scam buckets.
I forget what
No,
it is.
I'm just
But I
kidding.
agree. They should.
I'm not. I'm just.
I wish that they would stop the bundle stuff.
We're playfully kind of hitting them for it, but the reality is we're just
Fans
fans, and you get a little upset when you
took away something I loved.
didn't know I was buying a Taylor Swift ticket by wanting a skin.
I didn't know I got priced out of Pop One.
Correct.
I got priced out of a $30 game.
They fucking Dana Whited me.
I can't believe it. I got UFC pay-per-viewed on the games I
Yeah.
love.
That's it.
Those
Whatever.
slow price raises.
Thank God I own the game.
Right,
It's
but
not
I
a
am
pay to play.
I am excited for Sandbox mode. That's a free mode coming.
Fuck
so
yeah,
they do a good job with adding a lot of free content to the game in terms of
Yeah.
gameplay.
and that's their
And I've
justification.
always liked that business model. I've always been down to support it. Of like, yeah, I'll throw you $5 every week or two. Whatever.
Correct.
Nope, not $20.
Nope.
So
They won't matter, but nope.
unfortunately. But on other news, Little Cities,
Yeah.
a game that I actually really enjoyed. It was remember Cities VR.
Yeah.
City Skylines VR, and then Little Cities both kind of dropped.
a little easier version of
Yeah, it's user friendly. It's a happy feel. I enjoyed both of those city
freaking love
builders.
them though.
Yeah, they just came out with a paid DLC, which I was a little bummed to see that it was a paid DLC, but it's a great game as well. It's also not like that they're charging $20 for their paid DLC either. So I was excited to see Little Cities. It's already out. You can go check it out today if you're a big.
I guess in defense too, they have had some upgrades.
Yeah, they've added a lot of free content.
Free
throughout
content.
This is just their first paid
I can't
one.
recall the price of the DLC though.
No, not off the top of my head, and I don't
Yeah.
want to misspeak, but
Yeah.
they had a paid DLC come out, and so did Ruinsmagus.
Mhm.
One of the VR RPGs or the JRPG style VR games. They added free content. Just as an update, anybody gets it. Some more quests and stuff like that, and then they also added paid DLC. I think it was like $6.99 or something like that.
It's a nice way to nurse you in though.
We'll give you some free
Yeah,
content.
here you go.
That's exactly what Little
But
Cities
now, if you
has done
want
for
more
that
free content, you need to buy this.
Yep.
As long as it's priced affordably and it makes sense to the consumer. I never have a problem with.
Yeah, $5 DLC, whatever.
No. Again, I'll use Walkabout as the best example of how DLC should work. And I don't know why they don't charge more, because
they have official licensing. It doesn't make sense.
Yep. But they don't. They've obviously, just look at what they're doing and follow their suit. And I think it's a home run.
I agree. But do you want to, before we go through the rest of these things, you want to take the moment, take a little ad break from...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I always say, though, before we take a moment from our sponsors, help keep the lights on. Don't forget, go
Some people press the 30-second button.
He's already... Yeah, I mean, they're not hearing this part. Wow,
Yeah.
he's still talking? They haven't even taken the ad break yet? Click, 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 click. So, like I always say, be sure to join the Discord, our official subreddit. You can find the links for that in our show notes, the episode description. And then also, don't forget, check out our Patreon. Christmas is coming up, Merry Christmas.
I wouldn't mind a present. That would be cool.
So, you can go join our Patreon where we offer, some Discord benefits. You can get an exclusive Discord role as well as a exclusive Discord chat room for our Patreon supporters. As well, you can get on-air shout-outs, your name across the ticker on the screen, a whole bunch of stuff. So
whatever you want.
Whatever you want. We got it for sale. So go check out our Patreon there. Go join our Discord, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in Metaquest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The Metaquest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code Ruff Talk VR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. We are excited to announce our newest Ruff Talk VR podcast sponsor, VRlist.xyz, a marketplace for VR talent that just launched April this year and already has over 100 members as of October. At VRlist.xyz, they believe the metaverse will usher in new opportunities for all those who partake in it. With that, they asked a simple question: how can you find VR creators? Unhappy with the results they found, it was time to take things into their own hands. They've embarked on a journey to simplify how those looking for VR services can connect with those who supply them. VRlist.xyz is an open marketplace for VR creators, instructors, entertainers, and proprietors to proudly showcase their talents and spaces to potential clients. And with already over 100 vendors listed, including Stratus and yours truly, VRlist.xyz is quickly becoming the premier VR talent marketplace. Again, that's VRlist.xyz to find the right VR talent for your needs. And we're back.
Yay.
Yeah. So on the software side of things, we had talked a couple months ago about the Quest Pro controllers and them apparently being better, yada, yada. They have pretty much a full computer processor chip in them, as well as a whole bunch of trackers. So they don't rely as much on the headset tracking. You can go behind the head and stuff. They looked wicked smooth, and were going to be compatible with the Quest 2. It just wasn't able to be done yet.
Not day one, no.
That update has officially rolled out. You can now use the Quest Pro controllers with the Quest 2.
Yay.
Woo. Which I've seen some people say that the tracking on the Quest
with
2...
a price tag of $299.99.
Yes, those controllers will cost as much as your current Quest 2 headset.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some people say that the tracking definitely works better on the Quest Pro with those controllers
than with the Quest 2.
But I still saw that it was a step up from the Quest 2 base controllers.
And then some of that could be psychological.
It could be.
Ooh, it looks pretty.
Or you had such a high expectation.
Yeah.
But
it works better, man. Like, how do you really know?
But I'd say it all the time, you know, if those controllers aren't going to be better than the Quest 3 controllers, or they're not going to be compatible with the Quest 3, I'm not even going to bother. But if they are still going to be better than the Quest 3 controllers, I would just get them now.
Which I don't know how they would be.
Because they're $399 or $299 by themselves, and the Quest 3 is probably going to be
500,
300 to 500.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like,
just I have a tough time buying controllers that cost as much as my headset, because I could just.
It also depends on what you play, because I have a feeling like people who go big into like workout games or Beat Saber or any type of combat game, anything that's relying on hand, you know, the controller tracking and potentially lifting it up over your head and it losing tracking or whatever, I think those controllers are a game changer. If you use it, you know, you're playing more strategy games and more shooters where, you know, your controller's kind of always in sight and that kind of stuff, I don't think it's going to be any benefit. I
question whether there'll be a use for controllers 2 years down the road.
You think it's going to go all hand tracking?
Yeah. Or they'll have the gloves.
Yeah. Gloves would be a game changer.
Yeah. But they'll be like the VR gloves that are designed and calibrated to work with your headset and has full 360, no matter where you put your gloves, you know.
That would be the game changer for boxing games and stuff.
Could totally see that. And then socks. So
feet
you could have feet. Yeah. And it would just fill in the blanks in between.
I'm always shocked that Meta doesn't sell like tracking attachments for the Quest line.
Probably, I mean, just not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so friggin' new.
Yeah, right? It's inevitable.
How come they don't do this?
Right.
Like, well, they will.
Yeah. We're working on it. Don't worry. I'm sure that's the talk, but it seems like a no-brainer because other companies make the body
I think
trackers.
it'll come. I think they're being actually really smart with how they're
rolling things
out. Yeah, I you know, I mean, yeah, I want the next headset as much as the next person. I really do, and I'm foaming at the teeth for.
At least we know what's coming in 2023.
Quest 3 or Meta 3, whatever the hell they're calling it. Oculus 3, we'll call it that. But it's like how they're doing their technology. I think is perfect.
Yeah,
everything's been a little better. You know, then they came out with the business model for the professional,
the pro.
Yeah, people found out that when you're in like the nice fancy office with the nice books and you know, fancy red leather chair and oak furniture, that you just look kind of silly with that Quest 2 headset on. But you slap on the Quest Pro, and when, you know, your secretary walks in or your coworkers walk in, you look pretty freaking cool, man. Like, dude, what do you got on? What are you doing? It's like, hey, dude, I'm working, man. I'm actually working. So I can see how they do the, you know, pro mode.
I feel like that a lot of the people that bought the Quest Pro, even for an enterprise headset, did it for gaming.
Yeah.
I don't think people were buying it for business.
There's like two dudes who bought it for business, and everyone looks at them like they're idiots. Like, you know, you playing Pop 1 on that? Like, no, I'm working.
Thing's awesome with Demio. You know, you get the pass-through color pass-through.
Like, I don't know. I question how many people bought it. Why would you?
I feel like it was mostly the gaming crowd that.
I just think it's more if you're going to game at work. You don't look like you're really gaming with that on. It looks. I mean, it's a slick looking unit.
I'll be honest with you. I like the look of all black headsets over the white headset. The Quest 1 was black.
Yeah.
And it's like the Quest 2,
Not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed in
it being big and white. I feel like, I don't know, makes it look a little goofier.
So you're at work.
I think
they're gonna all know you're playing a game.
Yeah, black's just professional looking, you know? It's like, I hope the Quest 3 goes back to the black look.
Yeah.
Even the Quest Pro is black.
The Pro is like how important you look if you walk into a construction zone with a suit on carrying a clipboard. You know, people are gonna fall for it. So that's the only reason I think it works for the executive. Now I can play my shit at work.
But
tell them I'm working.
Back on the news of game releases, I'll go to this one because it's quick. There's a game, you know, the whole UploadVR showcase. You said that the one game that stuck out to you the most, that you were actually the most excited for, doesn't seem like it's actually coming for the Quest 2.
I'm not going to be able to play it.
And it's weird because it totally looked like a Quest 2 capable game, but it's called Across the Valley. Coming for the PC VR and PlayStation VR too.
Little cute farming sim.
That's what it looked like, and it's got that
no tractors or nothing, but
No, some like milking the cow and planting some veggies.
Shearing the sheep.
Yeah, some simple stuff. It looked really, meditative and relaxing. And I was totally expecting to see it be for the Quest 2, and it's not. I was shocked. I felt bad when you were like, "That's the game that sticks out." And I was like, "Oh."
I was so bummed because I saw all the stuff released, and I'm like, you know what? I think out of all of them, to be honest with you,
yeah, you came right
in. I
in.
really want to try this.
I was like, I'm sorry.
I'd love to see a farming sim. So whatever I got to do, even if I can't drive a tractor and do all the stuff I can in Farming Simulator, I want to play it. And then I'm like, I can't. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you were so hyped. I felt bad breaking the news to you. I was like, yeah, maybe that will come to the Quest 2. They just haven't announced it yet. Maybe they're negotiating.
Whatever.
You were bummed.
Maybe Farming Simulator is really coming out for Q3, so they're going to be like, you know what? We're not going to be able to compete because nobody can.
Yeah, I felt bad for you on that one. But moving on.
Yeah, it sucks. Thanks for bringing it up.
There's a very popular manga series known as Attack on Titan, and they just announced a Attack on Titan VR game. So that's going to come out in 2023. It's going to have single player and co-op. So personally, I wasn't a huge fan of the series. Not that I disliked it, I just never.
Yeah, it wasn't your thing.
I never even indulged in it or read it or anything like that. But all you got to do is put the word co-op on something, and I'm gonna give it a try. Yeah,
I don't care what it is.
Yeah, if it's co-op, I don't have to ever read a single line from the manga, watch any of the animes, nothing.
Yeah,
just throw me in a co-op game, I'll probably have fun. So I was definitely excited to see that it was co-op. It's cool for fans of the series, though. It's like I think that that type of thing will get people to buy headsets, no matter what series it is. Even Stranger Things, I think, is gonna get.
Well, that's a freaking audience that's just larger than life.
I think there's going to be big Attack on Titan fans that go, there's a VR game? I can be fully immersed in this universe?
You sure can.
For $299, for $350, whatever.
Just put it on your head there.
Boom.
Click, click, click.
So I think that was a really cool title to see, be announced. Again, I'm not I'm not knowledgeable at all on the series.
I just think we're seeing the games get more serious. Like people are now, it's not just something like, oh, what's that cute thing they're doing over there in the VR world? Now it's taking on more of a, what do you mean, freaking Iron Man's in VR? There's certain
Batman VR is coming
in like we'll say like the mall world. Like if you get a Target on the end of your mall, you're guaranteed to get. There's a certain amount of tenants that'll come to your mall and buy real estate because you have a good anchor. And it's the same thing with some of these games. Like you're going to be like, Marvel Comics putting their name on games and shit. You're going to have now a whole audience of people coming over going, I'm just doing it because of that one thing. It's the same 100%. Effect. Yeah,
I think
it's incredible.
These big series are headset sellers, without a doubt, in my opinion.
That's what makes them so dangerous too, and we've seen it kind of go down once last year where some really hyped up shit that could bring people over to play the game in VR, and it kind of fell flat. Not going to drag them through the mud. You can go through the reviews and you can find it, but it was, I'd call it a AAA studio. It was
we've talked about this before.
Just didn't live up to the hype. So you got to be stupid careful when you're putting like Twilight Zone, something like that even.
Which was great. Yeah, but imagine if it wasn't. If it was even slightly bad, it's 10 times as bad as it would be.
Everything.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. That's the dangerous thing with these official titles. They're held, or not official titles, but official IPs and, major existing shows and stuff like that. You're held to a very high standard.
Stranger Things will be the same thing. Although they might get some leeway, though, because there's people who will buy it probably just to own it because it's Stranger Things, not
cult following status.
Yeah, collectors.
But let's use Ghostbusters as an example. Ghostbusters is going to be held to a extremely high standard. If they had like the same level of, let's say the replayability is moderate, it's not the best game, but like if another game had that exact same level of quality, it would get praise. It's like Ghostbusters is going to have to be damn good because it's Ghostbusters. You expect it. So yeah, absolutely. There's a high expectation with official titles. I'm excited for Ghostbusters. Speaking of co-op games and stuff like that, because there's been no shortage of them. There was another game, Everslaught, which has been kind of, some trailers and stuff shown. Basic, especially off the trailer that they released when we watched, it seems like there's going to be co-op in it, which I think is going to be a absolute make it or break it feature, because it looks like another sword fighting game. I know your favorite. There's a lot of hack and slash going on.
Why, yes, there is.
Some upgrades, you select your class, you do some skill upgrades, but it did look like there's co-op. So I'll give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
If there's co-op, that's enough of a unique feature, because not a lot of these hack and slash games have co-op.
No.
That'll be enough for me to say, okay.
Or co-op is code word for PvP.
Yeah. Or it's like, not nearly that much content in co-op versus what's in single player versus the game that we're reviewing on Wednesday.
I mean, it's co-op. It's, yes, sword fighting. I'm kind of like full at the moment, but if it's co-op,
I'll do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any of the current ones we have, if they go co-op, I'll jump all over them.
Well, I know you're a sucker too for upgrades.
Progression.
Yeah, progression. Then that's what they were hyping in their trailer, was their progression
Start
system.
with like one thing. They do.
That's an easy way to get you hooked on something. You're like, well, I got to get the max.
How many weapons are really here?
Yeah.
We got 30. And you let me, I have to start with one.
Yep.
And the only way I can unlock is by playing. And okay.
I think After the Fall, though, that was a solo, roguelite game.
Mm-hmm.
I think if After the Fall was, I'm sorry, not After the Fall, Until You Fall. It's easy to mix up After the Fall.
I was trying to think of where you were going to it with After the Fall.
About,
I'm like, they had progressive.
Yeah, Until You Fall. Remember the roguelite sword fighting one where you pick your weapon and yada yada. If that was co-op, I think we would still be playing it, whereas we don't hop into it.
Off. No, I agree. There's a lot of experiences like that.
So I think that, even though it's a repeated gameplay concept that, we're just saying that we've seen enough of, the fact that it's co-op, you know what? I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah, it changes the...
And then just to give a shout out to the game we reviewed last week, Broken Edge, they have a new class dropping next year already. I think early next year. It's going to be a Viking. Seems like it has a giant axe. I don't really know much about it, but...
Which is actually good to hear.
Yeah, cool to see. We just reviewed it last week, and they're, already getting ready to roll out more content. There's been a couple updates since we first got it, so it's definitely a game that's actively still being worked on and in development.
Yeah, I mean, again, with them, the game is all right, but the price was the
$9.99 for it, and it's like now they're adding more classes, more content. Props to them. That's really cool to see. On another note, another 1v1 competitive dueling game.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like it's going to be sword fighting. It looks like that there's more like, sending stuff after the person on the other side, kind of more blasting style, it looks like, but it's going to be called Divine Duel, and it's going to be free. It's coming in 2023. So, hey, even though it's a little bit of a repeated concept, just like Broken Edge had a, you can't beat price, it's hard to shit on a game that's coming out for free.
Yeah,
you're going to be like, what?
Yeah. Somebody will, but
I'm always skeptical of free games, though. What's the business model? Am I going to have to buy upgrades? Because I don't think that business model is going to work in VR. Or is it going to be relying on cosmetics and new classes?
For some, it's the startup of like league play, tournament play, that type of thing. By giving you I've seen that happen before. So I mean, that is a possible route.
Yeah, I'm curious though.
But free is always suspect to me.
Free can be done really well, like Cards and Tankards, I think, and Poker Stars.
So sus, man.
Yeah,
so sus, bro.
Free to play can be hit or miss, but I've seen a couple examples of games doing it really good.
We own some, and we love some of them.
Yeah, so it's hit and miss. It all depends on how.
But I never got it because it was free.
Yeah,
and had to be talked into it, and then got it and realized, oh, okay.
Yep, Cards and Tankards is a perfect example.
That's the one that, I'll never forget that. That's the first example ever of a game that like I didn't really give the chance to
because it was free.
But then when I did, I realized free works.
Yeah,
there is pay stuff in there if you want, but it's not going to really necessarily make you
the best. And poker.
So.
Well, here's the thing about Cards and Tankards too. It's like, yeah, you can buy cards. You can buy packs, but if you play the game, you're going to unlock all the cards. Anyway, just do
Just
30
play.
rounds. You know, I
up
promise
to
you're
you.
gonna get everything.
Or support the dev and give them $100. It
But-
doesn't, you know.
Most of the stuff that they sell in Cards and Tankards is just beer glasses, swords, pets.
Cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, you know, we're good.
Dragons.
Same with Poker Stars. Poker Stars is another example of a great game. You go and it's free,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all props that you buy money on. You know, and it makes the social experience
And you can earn
better.
You can earn, at least the last time I played it, you could still earn money to buy this stuff.
Yeah, for free.
I've never spent any like real
No,
world money.
but you can, and that's their business model.
Yeah.
Is that's how they're generating
It's a
revenue.
great game, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
So there's great examples.
casino experience, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably the best example of it on the Quest. And so there's great examples of the free to play working. So I'm only skeptical depending on
Mm-hmm.
how it's done. But it's hard to shit on the game for
Being free.
yeah.
So we'll see.
And then one last thing to talk about. This is actually a game that has a demo out now that you can go try. I will put a disclaimer. I've not tried the demo yet. This is a game I've been watching. I want to see it like fully polished and fleshed out and ready to go
Mm-hmm.
before I really deep dive in. But it's called We Are One. It's, finally announced that it is coming out next year fully. And it's got a really unique gameplay concept where like you create clones of yourself. And I think you loop them to do certain actions. And it's a puzzle game, so you use that to solve puzzles. But then in the trailer, it also looks like that there's combat.
All I saw was combat in the trailer.
But I thought, based off of what I read about it, sounded like it was going to be more puzzle. But then the trailer showed, nothing but combat and creating clones to like throw guns at you
Yeah, 'cause
and ammo.
it looked like you were shooting somebody, like a group of who cares what they are,
Mhm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm assuming that like the way I envisioned the game is like the first time you play it, you're gonna do something and then you're gonna friggin' die.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna realize like, okay, I have to take my gun and throw it to myself over there, and then restart it. The thing shoots. You're standing over there. Yourself throws it. You're constantly the next one ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's really the case, it could take a long time to.
Yeah, and I'm curious how much of it is really strategic puzzles, how much of it's
Yeah.
combat. What's it? But
Neat concept though.
when I explained it to you, you went, one eyebrow up, like, that
Well,
sounds like it's got potential.
This has got I
So-
wasn't as impressed with. I won't lie. The trailer had me kind of like going, "Is this strictly going to be combat?"
Mm-hmm.
Because I love the idea of having to do like,
Puzzles like that.
when I thought puzzles, I thought
You make one press a button while
one
you
guy's
have to
got to pull the switch at the same time. This one has to do this, or like.
and you time it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, it'd be awesome.
So we'll see. I'm really excited to try it though.
Yeah, props to them right off the top. Regardless of execution, it's a cool concept. So
Yeah.
they nailed that.
I
It's
love
got-
when people are trying something new.
Yep, there's not really many of these games on the Quest store, so
No.
props to them. So, all the games we talked about with trailers are at least coming out the earliest 2023. There was none of these were 2022 releases,
Unless they delay them 24 hours before release day.
right? Which Gambit, yes, was supposed to be us talking about. Holy shit, Gambit
But
came out.
Good
but-
job, Gambit, because guess what? We're talking about it.
And I'm
So,
still hyped.
That's
it
pretty smart on their part.
Of all of the trailers shown as well. It's ironic because they're the one that was delayed and supposed to come out. But
Right.
of all the trailers, they were probably my favorite trailer.
Okay.
Because it wasn't cinematic. It was nothing but gameplay. It was humorous.
No,
They
it
did
had me dying.
Yeah, so props to them. So, a lot we talked about today. I think that there was even some stuff we might have skipped.
Sorry.
It's hard to fit. It was a busy week. Like I said,
Mhm.
last week was a little bit more dry, and this week it's like we're almost an hour in. We're just talking about everything.
Stuff coming. Yeah.
So, whole bunch of good stuff this week. Is there anything you wanted to add before we wrap this baby up, or
Nah,
let these people get to work?
can't wait for next week.
Right. I'm sure that there's going to be no shortage of news by next Monday.
Correct.
And on Wednesday, we're dropping a review of a great App Lab game called Guardians.
Wicked good.
One of those you play it, and we'll do a whole episode on it. There's some jank, but it's like this is official store
The
material.
App Lab on that game is just a graphic.
Well, and
The quality of the game is
what's
a
interesting,
store.
yeah, without a doubt, and
Mhm.
like the amount of depth and replayability. And what's real interesting about this review, the game's out now on App Lab.
Mm-hmm.
But it is coming to the official store in 2023 with a re-release name. It's going to be Guardians Frontline, I believe, is the new title for it that's coming. So we'll have to re-review it when it comes out. But what's awesome is just last week we were talking, if you were a developer and you had this great game and you weren't able to get it on the official Quest store, partner with one of these great publishers like End Dreams, Fast Travel, Resolution.
Fast Travel is the
Shell
one we
Games.
mentioned, though. Yeah.
Yep, because Fast Travel published Broken Edge.
Yep.
Which just, we just
You
reviewed
want
that
to
last
get it
week.
there fast? Who are you gonna call?
When this game
Fast Travel,
re-releases,
baby.
when it releases in 2023, it's published by Fast Travel Games.
Fast Travel Games.
So,
So we stand by our words.
yes, but it'll be interesting to see the changes that they make in between what we're reviewing, on Wednesday,
Yeah.
which has
And
been
what
an
their-
amazing
what
game.
their store release is.
Yeah, because the big thing that they hyped with a trailer for their new one
Mm-hmm.
is enhanced map editor, which their map editor exists now. I tried to go in it.
Doesn't work.
It was
for me.
janky. It was but the video that they showed of what's coming in the 2023 re-release.
The video they showed is what I envisioned when we were talking to one of the people who worked on the courses for Walkabout.
Of how people
About
work
how
at it.
people work on it at the same time.
Well, because it even looked like collaborative map building,
yeah,
and it looked
co-op map building.
crazy terrain
Get
editing.
the hell out of here.
Crazy terrain editing. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see the re-release in 2023. But we've been spending so much time in this game recently. We can't not review it in its current state, and it'll be really cool to see, two
I'm
comparisons
just happy
of the two.
that I don't have to sit there during the review and say, why is this not on the
Yeah,
official store?
Because we know it's coming.
That's been taken care
Mhm.
of already, sir.
I can't see how they're going
Good
to
for
make the gameplay even better, but I can't wait. So we'll review that Wednesday, but don't be surprised if there's another review of it in 3-4 months whenever it
Couple
comes
months,
out in
yeah.
2023.
Definitely.
But stay tuned for that on Wednesday. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your day and see you soon.
Take care.
Ciao, ciao.